Invest 94L is currently in the Bay of Campeche. Currently has a 90% chance of formation in the next 48 hours. It's not a 90% chance in the next 5 days. It's now 90% chance in the next 48 hours as of now. Here it is. Tropical wave and an upper level trough continue to produce a large area of disorganized thunderstorms over portions of southeastern Mexico and the southern and central Gulf. Upper level winds are gradually becoming more conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form on Sunday or Monday, while the disturbance moves northwestward and then northward toward the coast of northeastern Mexico. Additional development will be possible through the middle of next week if the system remains over water, and interests along the western and northwestern Gulf Coast should monitor the progress of the system. An Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft is scheduled to investigate the system tomorrow if necessary. So this is the latest development. It now has a 90% chance of development in the next 2 days, meaning it's almost certainly going to develop overnight at this point, because once that sun sets and once the sun goes away, the tropical cyclones tend to develop much better, much faster on average, because that sun is kind of keeping a cap on the cloud tops and everything, while the sun does the warm the ocean and everything. Like those cloud tops, the higher they get, the colder they are. Like they get really, really cold. In big major hurricanes, there are sometimes cloud tops that are in like minus 70 degrees Celsius, sometimes even minus 80. The sun can sometimes like slow it down slightly, but basically I'll be watching this overnight. Let's look at the satellite radar for 94L. The center of circulation is right here. There's not a lot of activity right here right now, but there's a huge blow up right here on the eastern side of it, which generally means that it's developing. Starting to develop a little bit more each time. This is a situation I will be watching very, very closely over the next few hours as it develops. There's not really that much of a change for the intensity or basically the track of it. Let's look at the intensity first. Majority of them have it go up to tropical storm force winds. This one has it going up to a strong tropical storm. If this develops by 1 o'clock in the morning, Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, this could be stronger than just a 70 mile per hour tropical storm. It could be a hurricane. Like I said, if it could get stronger if it stays over water longer. And a lot of the tracks have it staying over water for the next 60 hours until it makes landfall in Texas. A couple of these outliers have it making landfall in Mexico, but I'll be watching it very closely. My best guess is that it's going to follow this path. It's going to turn to the north, and it's going to make landfall in between Corpus Christi and Galveston. Beaumont could see some pretty bad conditions if it develops. Like the eastern part of the storm has it going over Galveston essentially, and if it does that, it'll also mean it can still be in water for longer and strengthen. And these hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico, especially over here, where in the Western Gulf, where the water is exceptionally warm, that's where they can really develop. Hurricane Harvey in 2017 came off of Yucatan right here, where my cursor is. It started developing very quickly. It moved here. In literally 48 hours, it went from a tropical depression to a Category 4 hurricane. That's how fast these things can develop. And is it possible that this develops that fast? Yes. Is it likely at this point? It's simply too early to tell. A lot of the models said Harvey was only going to be a strong tropical storm or a Cat 1 hurricane this far out. And guess how wrong they were. So it's more of a wait and see at this point. It's just too early to know at this point. I'm not saying it's going to be a major hurricane because we don't know that. My prediction intensity is I'm withholding it for the time being because of how early this is. But unlike Harvey, it's not going to be stuck in one place. It's going to make landfall and move inland. A lot of these models have it moving east into Louisiana and Arkansas. A couple have it going up to Missouri as a remnant. So it's going to be a wait and see. So back to this 90% chance of development. It's very likely going to develop in probably the next 6 to 12 hours. The next few hours are going to basically decide how strong this is going to be. Back to the right here, once again, a huge cluster of thunderstorms developing over here all the way down to Guatemala. So if you're in Mexico at this point, if you're in Yucatan, if you're in southern Mexico, it's still going to be storming, so be careful for localized heavy rain and mudslides. But yeah, this thing is developing. Hasn't started to really develop yet, but it's going to develop at a very fast rate. I'll be watching it every hour, so be sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more updates.